Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Comics Only, the only podcast where comedians talk with other comedians. My guest today is comedian, writer, and dog fighter, Drew Lopez. How old were you when you first started fighting dogs, Drew?
Oh, God, I mean, like, probably seven.
Seven, of course. It's in your culture.
Absolutely. And in that culture,
You're Italian, right? I thought Italians were big dog fighters.
That's so funny. What? Honest to God, people do think that I'm Italian. I'm not. I'm like every other white thing aside from Italian.
You're not Mexican either?
No, dude. I got to tell you, that was going to come up at some point in the podcast.
Of course.
I did
Drew Lopez isn't Mexican, right?
You heard it here
I'm supposed to just believe that.
No,
Thank you for improvising with me there. That's my new test on the podcast is I say something horrible about my guest and see if they go, hey, man, or if they can at least I'm like, do you even do comedy? Just yes and me, please.
I just did improv literally I didn't do the improv, but I was at that improv show Act Out last night.
Uh-huh.
And so it's still in me. I'm feeling the improv. I was going to tell you, even speaking of dog fighting, when I was legit 7, I got attacked by a dog. So
Jesus
it's just
Christ.
damn, he did his research.
I didn't mean literally. I meant making dogs fight, Drew, not fighting a dog personally. You're swinging. Dude, I imagine, depending on what kind of dog it was, it's eye level when you're a 7-year-old.
Do you want to know what kind?
Yeah.
It was I don't know how well educated you are on spaniels. But it was a water spaniel.
So pretty tall.
It was pretty big. I was a pretty beefy 7-year-old, but still, it sucked. So we'll move on from that.
That's crazy. I got bit on the mouth when I was 4 by a dog, I guess. I don't even remember.
Chihuahua?
Maybe. I don't remember. I think it was a bigger dog. Damn. I guess, the person, this is kind of a weird story, but
I'm so here for it.
So I guess the people whose dog it was carpet cleaners, and I was bleeding all over their carpet, but they just didn't give a shit because they clean carpets for a living. And my mom was a doctor, and she could kind of just tell I was fine, and they were worried about me. They were and she was like, no, what about your carpet? Is your carpet going to be okay?
We can work this out.
And I guess everything was fine. I have a small scar, but I can't even see it.
That's
really.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Mine was on my arm. And
nice.
So when I was at a Super Bowl party, and I just got mauled by this dog. They had rabies. I got a shot. I couldn't swim for the summer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was all in my armpit.
Damn.
I don't really have scars, amazingly. But
tell me about this show last night, your improv show. It's Lou's show, right?
Mm-hmm. So it's Act Out at the Bridge Improv. Sadly, they're going to be moving buildings. They got a new place. Mm-hmm. And so the next show will be in March. But what it is, it's where you do a 10-minute set. And then their little improv troupe does improv based off what you talked about in your set, which is pretty fun. I liked it.
Oh, really? They improv about your set?
Yes. And
crazy.
So it got insane. We had Devin Hannick, and then me, and then Brad Elliott.
Nice.
The set. And then, of course, Lou did a set up top, and he's hilarious.
Yeah,
so it got off the rails so fast, especially with the improv. I loved it, but I'm a theater kid.
Right.
So, I felt very at home. It was cool.
Cool. Mm-hmm. How'd Devin do?
I love it. What was it? We talked a lot about, being gay.
He's really figuring that out right now. He's really going through it.
I feel like such a nosy bitch right now. So he was with a girl, and I don't know.
He's in a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was
I'll say it.
You heard it here first, folks. And I didn't want to be weird. And so I was just oh, hey, my name is Drew. Nice to meet you. And Devin's just so nice to see you. And it's just very Devin. Yeah. And he's, just up on stage making, so I'm gay.
Yeah, well, bisexual technically.
I know. I'm just making jokes. From one
but in Arizona,
yeah.
If,
you might as well be
you're
cool,
bisexual, you're gay.
Kinda.
Yeah, they're
as
not.
far as jokes go, people are definitely going to treat you as a full gay.
Yeah,
I'm only half.
I know. It's so crazy how different it is here doing comedy here.
Oh yeah. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, we might as well. You're one of the only other people I know that has moved from the Northwest here.
That's so true. Before I get too deep into it, did you ever know Jamal Banyan?
Yeah, I know Jamal. Yeah.
Is he still here?
No, I don't think he's around.
A while back.
No, I don't think he's around.
Okay. That would make sense.
Because I have not seen him. I saw him at like 1 or 2 mics.
Same. And I was just
That's so weird.
You here?
Maybe he quit comedy. Or,
Jamal,
you
did
know,
quit
maybe
comedy?
they're...
If you're watching this, can
maybe
you let us
someone
know?
did a hate crime. I don't know.
No.
We're in Arizona, man.
Jamal.
Yeah, not like another comic, just like a random guy at a gas station.
Very possible you just went to QT. Just catching strays. Honestly,
damn it.
not the fucking QT. Should have known better. We don't have those out there. I think, like, shit's completely changed for me. What you've been here longer than me though, too. So, like, how long have you lived in Phoenix now? Like
2 years,
That's
almost
it?
exactly. Yeah.
Oh shit! Then I'm out of my mind. I thought that you were here a lot longer than me, like 3, not that much longer. But so I've been here. About a year and some change now.
Yeah, that
officially.
sounds right.
And
yeah.
but I didn't start like being a person here until like literally February of last year.
Yeah, it takes some time to adjust.
Totally, I was depressed as shit.
It's so
when I
weird.
got here. And I was going through a lot of weird stuff.
Sure.
We won't get into that on the pod. But just comedy's totally different, dude.
It's like couldn't
totally
be
different.
more different.
Yeah, literally, totally different world. And especially, I don't think. Did you ever hear about Bremerton before? You went to, like, exactly.
I mean, I know Bremerton. I grew up on Whidbey Island,
Oh,
so I know the sound.
you know, like,
you know,
I know this now.
like
That's so real, though.
Yeah.
Just like around that little area, nobody knows what I'm talking about when I say the sound, unless you're kind of like,
oh,
from
you
there.
got to
Just
be
like,
from there.
What do you mean? Like, what does it
Yeah.
sound like? And I'm like, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah,
So, like, is it like a boom or like what is it? Like, there's a lot
it's a
of
bunch of
military.
water.
It's more of like,
A bunch of water with a collection of islands and peninsulas.
and then I feel like a liar a lot of time. People are like, oh, Seattle, and I'm like, don't get me wrong.
no, not really.
I hung out in Seattle.
Yeah.
And in my last like year and a half of doing comedy out there, I started doing a lot of shows out in Seattle, and it was fucking awesome. But am I a
Yeah.
Seattle comic? No.
No, it's a ferry right away. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's
exactly
legitimately an hour.
It's like to anybody that doesn't know Seattle, I say I'm from Seattle. As soon as I say I'm from Seattle and somebody's like, "Oh, I'm from Seattle. Where are you?" Like I'm like,
Drop
"Oh
the
no,
act.
I'm from Whidbey Island. Sorry, like I grew up on Whidbey."
That's so real. They're like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I immediately will like just fall on the, hey, I was in the military.
Yeah.
I was in Bremerton, man. It wasn't me. I didn't do this.
God, Washington's so gorgeous. People don't realize. Like,
I didn't know what I had.
no, it's in Oregon. And Oregon's cool, but it's not Washington.
Where did you live again?
Eugene.
Oh, okay. That's
It's gorgeous. It's nice,
it is.
but like,
it is.
it's a cool little town. I mean, God, the fucking like, not to be this like the straight white guy bitching about homeless people, but my God, it's out of control
Someone's
there.
got to.
It's so insane
Let's
there
see.
right now.
Well, this is a kind of a unique viewpoint we can do right now.
Yeah.
We can create kind of like a data matrix for homelessness based off of here, Eugene,
Yeah,
where I lived in Bremerton, which is very small, right? Like the population was about 75,000.
it is small.
But a lot of homeless. So like the ratio there,
Yeah.
we got a solid like 2 to 10 homeless
Yeah.
people. And that's just because of the military being there. Phoenix, what do we think? A lot of homeless.
There's a lot of homeless, but they're all like, you know, they concentrate them.
Having been at QT within the last like hour and a half before
Yeah.
I came here, they're changing. I feel like the homeless are evolving.
They're so insane out here too. Like, I saw a guy like last summer. He had like a ski mask and a sweatshirt on, and it was like 110 degrees, and I was just like, "How is this
He's
possible?"
taking inspiration. He's like, hey,
They're
you know those
so-
people in the Sahara? They
Yeah.
got all that shit on.
They're so
And
intense.
he's like, I got this. I'm going to put more shit on.
Yeah, I guess there is like some logic to like keeping the sun off your skin.
Hey, there's
Well,
also, you might sweat to death. That's real.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how they survive out there.
I feel like I'm still such a pussy when it comes to like, you're in a different state. Like you can talk about literally whatever you want.
Yeah.
No one sure, don't be like insane, but you can pretty
That's
much.
the only rule. Yeah.
Yeah. there's
I
a
mean,
line.
but like that's fun because It's literally the line is just like, please don't scare the audience. You know?
I'm just kidding. I was just messing with you.
No, I do sometimes.
That's how you know the line.
You
You're
got to
like,
find
"Hey,
where the
just tell
line
me."
is sometimes.
They're just
You're
like,
like,
don't be scary.
Oops,
I'm like, I can't
sorry.
help it. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm getting into my stuff. And I don't like being PC, but I wasn't in Washington either.
Well,
Look, we were on the comedy competition together. I told a joke about Down syndrome. And like,
I remember that.
I haven't done that here though. I've been like kind of a pussy about it.
Really?
And plus it's old. I shouldn't do that.
Sure.
New jokes about Down syndrome.
That joke would work fine here.
You're like, in
all
my
the time.
opinion.
I promise. No, I promise you.
Fully
it would.
recommended.
Yeah. But like at the same time, you should be able to do like PC jokes and like even the jokes I write. Like I try to make it like really obvious. I'm just like fucking around, just trying to be funny.
It is
I don't
very
like.
obvious.
I'm not trying to be fucked up ever. Like I'm
Right.
never trying to just be like, oh, you should feel bad. It's always just like, this is silly. Here's the little twist.
Yeah. How do you feel like people in clubs versus like really like fun bar shows react when it comes to like shock value humor in general?
I don't know. All the clubs are so different. Like, I feel like I have really good sets at the open mic at Stir Crazy, and then if I get booked on the weekend, those crowds are like, "Hey, we do not like this guy." And then mic drop, I almost always have a good set at. In my experience, mic drop's been chill as fuck.
It's my favorite club so far.
House of Comedy, they actually, I don't know. House and Comedy is a real toss-up in my experience. It could go either way. I've had some sets where they're like, we love this guy. Then I've had some sets where they're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
But in general, I feel like I do pretty good at House of Comedy.
Sick.
And then I don't get on at any of the big three regularly or enough. I need to try and start doing the New Faces show and just...
It just is what it is, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, dude, since I've been here, and it's not like I'm like not doing shit. I haven't been on it Stir Crazy at all.
Yeah.
And it's not, I apply and stuff. It is what it is.
On the mic?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I know
weird.
I need to physically go because I'm always doing other shit. I'm like, oh, if I didn't get booked, then I guess I'm going to go hang out or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know. I definitely like Stir Crazy, though. I've been there in the past.
Yeah,
Before I
it's chill.
moved here, I had been there like twice. And I was like,
Really?
Yeah. No, I would just show up like, hey, I'm from Washington. They'd be like, oh, yeah. Get like a 4-minute spot.
Yeah, it's a cool club. I feel like they draw like kind of a lot of old people, dude. The last time I had a show
That's
there,
so
the only
real.
4 people I could see were in their 70s, and they were going like this for my whole set. The whole set, they just had their hands in their faces, and I
have a hard time relating to old people with my set.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's just, and maybe it's just the way.
Honestly,
I
like
talk.
at that show, I had one of the better sets, and everybody besides me, like pretty much everybody on the show bombed harder than I did. Like I had an okay set, and pretty much everybody else did worse.
That's where we like to set the bar.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I mean, that's just how it was. I knew as how it was going to be too.
Yeah.
I could just tell they were a stiff audience, and I know where I'm at as a comic.
Yeah.
And I know where like the rest of the people on the show were at as comics, and how often they do comedy. Shit, hopefully none of them listen to this. Or whatever. Who cares if they do?
Turns out this is like the one episode like you're like we like break through like
Yeah,
it's, like,
everybody
thousands
listens.
of
Yeah.
views.
No, it's funny. You know, this podcast gets like 40 listeners, but like you'd be surprised at how influential they are within the scene. Some of them, you know.
Let's see what we got. Like Lamar and stuff.
He might.
Hey,
I don't know.
Very influential.
Yeah. Omar.
My mom, very influential.
She's
She's
a big fan of this podcast.
now she is. She's gonna,
Okay, she's on it now. I hope she listens to the
It's
rest
gonna
of
be
the
just
episode.
like, well, I call it the Girl Scout treatment. She's gonna go to
The
work.
best episode is when I'm with Cedar Adair. I haven't seen him in a while. Do you know Cedar?
I love Cedar.
And
I
we
haven't
just
seen her
talk
in a
about
while.
how much we're just talking about different ways to get Aldo canceled. We're like, let's tell everybody he's dating a 13-year-old.
That's so
Just
horrible.
just start a rumor.
Oh my god! I used to work at the
Please
Boys and
tell
Girls Club.
people that. If you listen to this podcast, you heard it here first.
I mean, hey, at least
I've been calling border control and telling them Aldo's illegal, but nobody does anything.
They just like look at him and they're like, I mean, we're gonna let it go. Honestly.
Trump
really
said he was gonna get rid of birthright citizenship.
He's got his H-1B visa. He's gonna get it like for like the Comedy Store or something.
Yeah, it's probably the Stand or the Comedy Cellar would sponsor him to stay in the States anyways. He's gonna be fine.
Do you think that's ever happened for anybody? I wonder if that could even happen. Like, could you like get sponsored by a comedy club to keep you in?
I'm sure you could. To be honest, because like all you really need is like a reason to work. If they were like, we're gonna pay this person regularly to do comedy,
the opposite side of that, though.
It would be like kind of almost unreasonable to be just like, no.
Well, that'd be funny because if you start like bombing and say you like lose your job, then you have
like,
to
we're
leave.
sending them back.
Yeah, they're like, not only do you gotta go, like you gotta like.
I imagine
go.
you would perform really well in that case. You know, a lot of pressure.
No pressure, man.
Yeah.
You're just your entire livelihood is on the line here.
We should do an open mic or a show that like ups the pressure somehow. Like maybe whoever bombs the hardest has to suck everybody's dick afterwards. Well, if they're a man, if they're a woman, they have to. I don't know. Wait, you come up with the punishment for women. Sorry, I didn't. I didn't mean for that to come off like we were gonna force women into blowjobs, but we can force men into blowjobs.
There's never enough chicks at open mics anyway. I don't think we'd have to really worry about that.
My favorite joke is if I go on after a woman at an open mic, I'm like, I didn't know they let women at these open mics. It's like, are they allowed to do comedy in Phoenix?
I am gonna do just an offbeat real quick because it's literally like the same shit. This just happened at work yesterday. I like. Oh, what was it? We were like, they were making fun of Gavin Newsom because of the California wildfires, and I was like, and they're like, can you imagine if it was like a female like governor? And I was like, yeah, this is why I say women shouldn't be in charge of anything. And I'm the only one in the office, by the way. And they're all like, well, I wouldn't say they shouldn't be in charge of anything. The fact that they took it critically, and I was like, no, I'm being sarcastic. They're like, oh, Drew. You women and your sarcasm.
You're a little firecracker.
you little troublemaker. You caught me monologuing. I'd be like, ha.
It's really funny.
I got your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so real, dude. It's like maybe I shouldn't call them conservatives. They're more so just like, I love God. And women should make babies. Like that's like what they talk about in the office.
Yeah.
And like I don't really give a shit because I don't think any of them have the ability to fuck women. I think they're just talking
it's all going to be okay.
It's just fantasy. It's just fantasy that they're talking about. They're like, theoretically, I would fuck. And like, you know, that's cool. Let dudes talk. But at certain points, I'm just like, as the woman, you know, in all of your lives, you got it fucked up.
Yeah, you guys are idiots.
Anyway.
It is funny how like Arizona's weirdly not conservative.
Kind of.
Like it's not as conservative as I thought. It's more libertarian.
Do you think that's because we're in here in the city?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like that everywhere though, dude. Like go fucking 20 minutes outside of town in fucking Oregon and woo doggy, bro. It gets red fast. I'll tell you what.
100%. Don't you ever feel like you explain that to people from being out there?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know, like fucking libs, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I actually don't relate. All the shows that I would do, especially Bremerton. Bremerton's like pretty red.
I bet. It's military?
Say. Yeah.
Military, yeah.
Literally. It's a shipyard.
Remember that dude that had us up for that show?
Troy?
Ty.
Ty.
Yeah. No, I knew his name. I was just maybe not going to say it, but it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Edit it out.
No, it's okay.
I fucked it up anyway.
It doesn't matter.
No, that was my pig.
Dude, the thing is, Ty was always really good to me. You know?
I'll say right here, you can edit it out. This is just for us. I really like Ty.
I know.
I don't even, to this day,
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened.
Oh, I know, because you were here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, me neither. But
We'll talk about it outside. We just smoke about it.
Yeah.
That sounds great. But, dude, no. Go ahead.
I forget what I was even gonna say about him.
We're talking about. I caught you monologuing. Fucking. We were talking about how. I can't believe they let women at these things at open mics. And then I told you about how they're misogynist.
Oh, no. What I was going to say is Ty used to book a bunch of shows out in the middle of nowhere in Oregon. And those crowds were always fucking.
Of course they are.
So wild.
The colder you get, too, like, we would, I did, like, this little tour with, Simon Kaufman. Know him? We did, like, this cool little road tour from Washington to Oregon and then back again. And just the more desolate that you get, they're all Trumpers. Like, that's exactly what it is. Like, I got to shoot a gun out at somebody's truck. They're like, dude, good fucking set. Do you want to shoot my gun? And I'm like, absolutely, I do.
That's a cool way to celebrate.
Isn't it? I'm like, dude, fuck a free beer. Let me shoot your gun. I got it in the truck. Let's go. And I'm
that's fucking awesome.
This guy rules, man.
That guy does rule.
That's what I would want my fan base to be, honestly. Like, it's not about the politics. It's about what we're going to do afterwards. Like, what are the afters?
Sometimes I get sad that for comedy, you kind of have to be in a city.
Kind of.
And then you can't just, like, I would love to just live out in the mountains in the middle of nowhere somewhere.
You could, I don't know, you might be onto something, man. Mountain man comedy. And, like, you could just, like, you could be known for being, like, a small town dude. I think with the internet being on your side, I think you could really do it.
Dude, I'm not basically like Sam Miller.
Yeah, well, dude.
Do you know Sam?
Absolutely.
Of course,
I've done a lot of shows with Sam.
I bet,
Not in a while, because I haven't been there, but he's a great guy. Super fucking
Sam's
funny.
the best.
He works
Shout
with
out Sam. Sam's
Lynette.
easy to root for.
Him and Lynette Manning, they work together. I believe they also do a lot of work with, like, Comedy Bar.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Shout out to
They're
them.
really successful.
They're cool as hell. Shout out to Jess and what's his name?
Jess Anderson and Dane.
Yeah, Dane.
I'm so bad with last names. It's because
Hesseldale or something like that.
yes, there we go. It's like
Jess Anderson. And shout out to them for standing up to the Legion of Skanks.
yeah.
Somebody's got to put those people in their fucking place.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
You heard it here first.
This is gonna get us in trouble in the Phoenix.
What
all those dudes, like Rob.
nobody.
Rob's hosting for Big J this week, and Rob maybe.
I know. I'm so jealous. It's so fucking
sick.
cool. There, that much of grimy vibes being in the same building. I feel like Phoenix is gonna run out of cigarettes.
Yeah,
like
I think he hosts for all of those dudes when they come through, like Lewis. And,
that's awesome. That's like literally insane. I would die. I would die. I just want to meet them. Like, even Louis C.K., I would shake his hand, knowing where it's been.
I think I have an idea. If somebody sexually assaults Louis C.K., then he can come back.
Oh, he's back, right?
I mean, he could come back even more.
That'd be sick.
Because if he's a victim too,
does it need to be a female comic?
I think it does have to be a
or
female
better,
comic.
another male comic.
For full circle, yeah.
That's terrible.
No, I know.
No. I'm brainstorming. That's where I was like, I'm start rubbing the chin.
I'll do it. I got it. Come here, Louie.
I literally have a fucking joke about that. It's terrible. I used to, like, jack off to his stand up growing up.
I've heard you tell this joke.
That's a real story. 100% real. And I'm like, if he knew about that, it's like, the voyeurism is a hell of a thing.
Yeah, you did that joke at that show at Mic Drop I was hosting. That show was so fucking popping.
The Shindig?
That Jimmy, shout out Jimmy Shin for sure, dude. Hopefully he comes through soon.
Yeah, I love when Shin comes through. Dude.
God, I wish I could get fucking anybody to show up to any of my shows in Phoenix, dude.
Well, when we were like, hey,
so
dude,
much.
come out to Chandler. Like, I live in Central. Right?
Yeah.
And all my friends literally work at, like, weed shops and shit. So they're just like, if it's not, like, on the full moon, dude, like, I can't go. Like, schedules are everywhere. So
I don't really have any friends that aren't comics. And comics, like, you can invite them, but, like, my God, they're not going to show up.
It really is.
Like, I work in a jail, and, like, like, my job's not working with other, like, people who work at the jail. My job is going into the jail basically by myself. Nobody escorts me anywhere. I just go wherever I need to go, and meeting with different inmates and teaching them how court works. So I'm only really interacting with inmates the whole time.
That'd be so funny.
Which they're all cool as hell, but we're not going to be friends.
I was just thinking,
hard.
like, what if you were? Like, that's what I was, like, thinking. Where
There's just not, like...
Like, networking with inmates.
I don't think...
It's illegal.
I think I'd get in trouble if, like, I waited for, especially because I work with mainly women. So like, if I was like waited for this woman to get out of jail and then like added her on Facebook, I don't know. I think that could go bad really fast.
I'm sure it's in the fine print somewhere.
Oh, dude, there's no chance that's allowed.
You can't try to fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, bro.
Dude, it is. I have a joke about it. I did
know,
it that night.
I love that joke.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
fucking hilarious.
About, dude, when they're hot in there, you're just like, you're just like, why? Why is she here?
Let her go.
Bullshit.
She's innocent. My girlfriend is innocent, you guys.
It's such a weird feeling.
I'm like not even gonna really like twinge at it that much because I'm like, there's so much porn about this. Like, it's very valid. I don't think that there's anything weird about it. Like,
Thank you, Drew.
You're so welcome. Like,
You're the first woman who's ever said that to me.
Maybe I'm just.
I do remember one time I told that joke, and this comic came up to me afterwards, and she was like, "Hey, that joke makes me kind of uncomfortable."
What are you?
And I was like, I think most women feel the same way. Like, I know.
I would. Oh my god, I feel like it's just so like you're like interjecting your fucking self, and like I don't know. Maybe this is gonna be a hot take. I feel like a lot of women are like super annoying, and like myself included. I like to, I have a lot of insight. I'll put it that way. And for someone to just walk up to you and be like, "Hey, I know that joke wasn't about me, but let's just say I ever was in prison."
She was so cool about it.
I know. I'll be the one to make it a shitty thing. But I'm like, it's just like it's a funny fucking joke. I'll put it this way: if I was working in prisons doing your job, saw some like Luigi Mangione, I'm fucking him on the table. It's happening, dude. I'm a monster. Like, I'm sorry.
I was in
Being pretty tame about it.
I was in Sierra Vista with Jorge Ruiz for and Rob for this show down there, and I did some suicide jokes in my set, and they went really well.
Did they kill?
They killed themselves. And afterwards, after Jorge's set, he headlined. I opened, and then Rob featured. And after Jorge's set, this woman came up to Jorge and was like, "Hey, you shouldn't do jokes about suicide." And Jorge kind of looked around. He was like, "I didn't." And she's like, "I know, but And he was like, "Are you complaining to me about my opener's jokes right now?"
Like you guys are like a troupe. Yeah. She's like, "Are you the manager?"
And she's like, "I'm just saying." He's like, I don't know what to say right now.
Go kill yourself.
He's right there. Go complain to him. I'm like waving at her. I'm over here.
It was me. I did a suicide joke.
Dude, I think the worst probably as like an audience member that gets offended at stuff is when it goes well for the comic. Oh, you're offended, but it's crushing. Oh, yeah. That's got to be so annoying.
It makes me want to like come. It's like the best feeling in the world. I will say, there's this one time. Speaking of suicide jokes,
okay,
my ex was like legitimately suicidal, but he was like doing pretty good. And like I remember, I was like, "Can I make jokes about like suicide? Like these ones are really good. Like, can I tell these ones?" And I would get like the stamp of approval by him, and then he'd be like, "Oh yeah, like go tell him." Because I was like, "I'm going to Seattle tonight. Like these, I need my suicide jokes. Like these things are gonna kill. Like people love these." And his family
big suicide city.
Big suicide city. If you, it really are.
It really is.
I'm not even joking. Like, I'm just saying. And I told the joke, and it was, I love fucking my suicidal boyfriend because he puts it down like it's the last time. Every time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I put like a clip of that like on fucking Facebook. This is like 2 years ago.
Oh, they get mad at you?
Oh, they got so fucking mad.
I fucking hate Facebook.
Oh,
dude.
They took it to the family group chat. It was real. It was so real. And I was just like, I'm very unapologetic in general.
That.
And I was like, honestly, I was like, you know what the best part of this is? I was like, if you guys really gave a shit about him, you would know that he's actually not suicidal. Yeah. And that he loved his joke. He had a little laugh react on it on Facebook. Yeah. From him. So, eat my ass.
Even if, like, dude, I'm never, and you should feel this way too. I'm never going to apologize for keeping it real. Fuck that.
Not at all.
Dude.
I'll never apologize for a joke.
I ran an open mic at a bar near here. You probably never went to it.
What was it?
It was, God, what was it called? Ground Control?
Nope.
No, it doesn't matter. It's been shut down for a while. It was like it just like wasn't.
It's a cool name.
It's a cool and it was a cool room, but we never really drew enough people to like make it like where there was like people there to watch the show that weren't there hanging out, and there was almost always like people there hanging out with kids, and it was just tough. And it would have been great if it was more of like just a bar, but it was kind of a bar and restaurant. And
yeah, I get that.
Not quite good enough.
Yeah.
And every show I would end the open mic, I'd be like, all right, guys, we'll be here every week until ground control realizes what a big mistake they've made. And then and then eventually they canceled the show. And we're like, we just don't want comedy anymore. It's not working out. And people are like, you spoke it into existence. It's like, no, I acknowledged what was happening.
This is where my mom would be like, manifestation is real.
I'm not going to apologize for keeping it real. Just because I could see what was in the cards doesn't mean
feel bad.
Like
that's just
that
real.
Me saying that caused anything.
Yeah. No, you saw it first.
Yeah.
And that sucks sometimes, especially when it's like not like a good thing. Yeah. It's like, this is definitely not going to go well. Yeah.
Oh,
like, got it.
I mean, you're fucking telling comics to keep it clean and shit. It's the worst. You're just like, look, man, there's a 5-year-old right there. Yeah. Please don't say anything a 5-year-old shouldn't hear. Like,
the 5-year-old,
because people would be like, what do you mean keep it clean? I'm be like, that's what I mean.
The mom's like, he loves Def Jam. Yeah. If you could just make it dirty, that'd be great.
One time we had this like this kid must have been autistic or something, and he was making this weird like just like wah wah like noise the whole set,
stimming,
and nobody fucking acknowledged it, and I was so proud of every comic in the room because it was insane.
That's impossible.
It was insane, and God, I'm glad everybody did good. Raven was there and didn't bring it up.
Did it like cancel out like his laugh? I wonder if it was like that was how it is.
There was not a lot of laughter that night. God, that room was real.
Hell yeah,
dude. Hosting a show like that'll make you so good at comedy because it's just like it's just this constant trying to bring back a crowd. It's like, how about you try to win a crowd over 20 times in an hour?
That's really the heavy lifting of comedy, bro.
It is, dude.
It really is. Like, and God forbid you two bring them back. Oh, it's like just it feels so good.
I mean, I love I love that about hosting, like especially an open mic that doesn't really matter. Where you can just like it's an opportunity to make fun of comics. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God, I love that about an open mic where you can kind of just rip into like.
You got to come to mine. You got to come.
Yeah, the problem is I run an open mic on Mondays, Drew.
What time?
7.
Shit.
All right,
it's 8-ish. What's your start? Areas. That's why.
Yours starts at 7?
Yeah, but we're in different areas.
I might bump mine back to 8 and come and go up early at yours.
You definitely can.
Cool.
Because like I'm trying to make it to where before it was it's supposed to be right before Devil's Hideaway essentially because I know that's going to be.
And for people, mine's way on the west side, so like people could come do yours and then hit mine. You know what? I'm going to move mine back half an hour and start it at 8 instead of 7:30. No, I've been wanting to anyways, I think. And the bartender wants me to because she works until fucking midnight.
Ooh.
And like we've been starting at 7:30 and we rarely get more than 12 comics, so we're usually done by 8:30.
Oh, dude.
And like she's like, "Hey man, I'm bored until midnight. You guys leave. You come hang out and we're all having fun and then you all leave and there's nobody here." So she's like, "You should start it later." Cuz like I guess there's more people, but like I don't want to start it too late cuz I want there to be like people to watch the show.
Mm-hmm. It's hard we have a lot of comics right now and we have a little bit of audience. So, trying to like bring.
No, I've heard your room's great, dude. I've heard a bunch of people say that comics pay attention there.
Yeah, I wonder. I think it's because there's a lot of lights on too. I think it's something to do with like the attention span.
Yeah,
it's and like I don't know. Everybody's fucking neurodivergent as shit. We're just full on retarded. Dude. So
yeah, the comedy exists where my mental illness ends and yours begins. That's where comedy is.
Literally.
I know, it's so true.
And so I don't know. I love like hosting and stuff too, so it's just doing me a lot of good. Like hosting the mic and stuff, making me really happy. Very good for my mental health right now. Speaking of mental
It's
health.
a good way to be like part of the community because you see a bunch of people.
That's mainly what I wanted to.
Which, I mean, that's not really as true of mine because like mine's so far on the west side that it's just like the same 8 people
That's
every
why I
week.
was never there.
I know.
Because it's
of
so
course.
far.
No, I know. I don't expect anybody that lives anywhere except like near there
You
to
know,
come.
I work in Scottsdale, dude. That shit sucks. Like
Fuck
having
that.
to do the so I do about like what, an hour and a half,
Oof.
and then mic time.
Yeah.
Wherever
At
I
least
can
there's a
fucking
bunch
go.
of stuff that side of town.
Yeah, try to be fuck. I mean, like, dude, there's a
It's
minute
not that
where-
far from Bridget's, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, not too far. Not
That's
too
sick.
far. I'll be there
So-
Tuesday. I definitely want to go. And
Yeah.
then Bogies is great.
Bogies
And,
is sick.
I
yeah.
miss the Wayward all the time.
I fucking love Wayward. It's
Didn't we all?
such a
It's
good.
like
You never
church.
know the good times are the good times until they're over.
I know.
Whoever,
I fucking
Michael
know.
Scott or whatever.
That shit went right over, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not that white after all.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody said that. I think it was the
I'm
Office guy or whatever.
pretty sure it's Michael
I
Scott.
never watched The Office, but
That's so
It's-
bold of you to say.
it's so fun. Like I've seen it, but I never watched it. Like
Like, pretty sure it was Michael
I was a
Scott.
Parks and Rec guy, please. But like that
Who's your
show is
favorite
so ubiquitous that you kind of can't help but know it. It's
Who'd you
crazy.
like most on Parks and Rec?
Oh God, I liked April. April is my favorite.
Cool.
character.
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask if you were like a Andy or like a April.
Yeah, I liked Andy and April. I liked all the dynamics. Chris was hilarious.
Yeah. I really, really enjoy. Oddly enough, I love Leslie Knope. I think that she's like,
Leslie's great. Yeah, the whole show was great. It's funny.
she's actually like evil. Like that's what I like about her character. She's like very like evil good. Like she
Yeah.
wants to do so much because she's like, I will stop at nothing.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Like
so
relentless.
dedicated,
It's so
yeah.
overly dedicated. And it's kind of
Yeah.
like my mom too. I feel like that's like my mom in like a show. It's just very type A.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else?
I was gonna bring up something and then it
Bring it up.
totally no,
Oh.
that's the thing. I'm waiting for it to come back.
Okay.
And it was good. And
That's all right.
it's actually about comedy.
Oh, I mean, like I've been trying to let this be a little bit more freeform, so we don't have to talk as strictly about comedy. But what do you? Dude, these fires are crazy, huh?
Oh,
You think it's punishment because LA's so gay? That's what people are saying. Not
Hell,
me. Lots of
finally.
people are saying this.
not me. A lot of people would say. A lot of people would say.
Some guy on the news said it. Not the newscaster, but
Yeah.
somebody guy he was interviewing said it.
I'd say so. I'd say it's it's already hell. You know,
Dude.
it's just like
I remember one time I was at this open mic. It was my open mic, but it was before I ran it.
okay.
You know
Oh,
Joseph
okay.
Martinez?
yes.
He used to run it.
Okay.
But he's his wife's working nights right now, so he can't really go out and do comedy because
That
he's got to watch
sucks.
his kids at night. I know. I think he's happier, to be honest. When I talk
Good.
to him, he seems
That's
he's
really
like,
good.
I miss you guys, but I'm doing really well, and I'm
Yeah.
seeing my family a lot. And it's like, hey man, that sounds great.
That's lovely.
That sounds really good, man.
Good for him.
Yeah. But so he was running it. And he was hosted, and there was some comic from LA in town, and he goes, he's hosting. He goes, this next comic's from the gayest place on earth, Los Angeles. Give it up for so and brought the guy up, and the guy was like kind of bewildered, and was just like, oh, okay, and then did his set.
Me so.
And I was up next. I was making fun of Joseph. I was like, yeah, that was great when you were hosting and you called this guy gay. You were just like, "Here, give it up for this fag," and it got like a pop because I was making fun of Joseph, not just because I dropped an f-bomb.
Yeah.
And the guy was like visibly confused. I was like, "Yeah, welcome to Phoenix, pussy."
It'd be really funny if he actually was gay. That'd be so funny. That'd be so good. It'd be so good. Like just like
It'd be better if it was actually a hate crime.
it's like because you guys all just like assumed like immediately. So be like,
It would be funny if he was.
I
actually
am. And my set was going to be about that, but
yeah. Devin told me a great story from Chicago. He went to Chicago, and there was a trans woman was hosting the open mic. And somebody accidentally misgendered her, and she kind of freaked out, and like she was like, "You're not coming back on this fucking open mic, so and so, blah blah blah." Like yelled at him for a little bit.
Seattle.
Yeah, and then yeah, for sure.
Yes.
And then she calls up the next guy, and she's like, "Give it up for Jake, so and so." And he gets on the mic, and he's like, "Well, my name's actually Jack, but I'm not gonna make a big deal about that." Which is just the funniest thing he could have possibly said. Oh, it's so good.
Do you actually know anybody in LA? I don't really have any friends there.
I know some people in LA. I go to a comedy festival in Eureka every
Is it good? I'd
October.
love to go. That sounds fun.
It's amazing in its own ways, and it's horrible in its own ways.
Well, I want to get to know more people. That's all.
That's what it's for. It's just like comedy summer camp.
That's a bit.
There's a club there, and the owner of the club puts it on, and he's been doing it. I think the next year will be the 14th or 15th one. So they've been doing it a while, and like some pretty like big comics have been through there to headline it. Kyle Kinane was on the first one. Sam Tallent's been on a bunch of them. Eddie Pepitone was there one year.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's amazing.
And so it's good for that. It's the shows you get are horrible. They're just. You're like, they're not horrible. They're so much worse than horrible. They're fucking like, you're in like a thrift store, and the only other people there are comedians on the show with you.
Oh, no, you kind of had me at thrift store, dog.
Like, no, it's fun. Like, it's just like, is this a show, or are we just like in somebody's business for some reason? I remember one year I was there with my buddy, and I see him walk into his show. I'm like, "Hey man, where you going?" He's like, "Oh, I got a show I got to get to." I was like, "Oh, you got to get to your show, huh?" He's like, "Yeah, no, it's about to start." I'm like, "Yeah, it's about to start." He had no idea what. And I'm like, "Here, I'll go with you, buddy. Let's go check on your fucking show." And so we go to the venue. It's a record store. Oh. And it's locked. There's 3 other comics. It's closed. There's 3 other comics hanging out outside waiting. They had to wait for the venue owner to come open the business so they could have their show. I was just like, have fun at your show, buddy. I'll see you later.
That'd be cool if it was like Don't Tell or something.
But it is fun. And you go through something being on shows like that with other comics. It really teaches you something, because you can't just go up and like recite your material. People will look at you like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
So you have to like, it teaches you to make fun of your environment, because you're in a thrift store. You're like, "What are we doing here?"
Right.
Makes you make fun of the other comics. It just teaches you to be in the moment. So it's great for stuff like that.
It's kind of my favorite part about stand-up, honestly. And like,
the more you do it, the more you realize that's the magic.
And I think it makes you feel like you kind of like belong a little bit more too.
You want to be able to blend like material with being in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, it's very valuable to be able to write and have jokes written that like you're not riffing, that you're not coming up with it in the moment. But like the longer you do stand up, at least this has been true for me, you realize how important context is.
Totally.
And if you want to tell a joke, you really have to build the context of the room to match that joke. Or that's why a lot of jokes don't work, is if like you haven't quite gotten the context right, so that when you tell the joke, they're kind of just like, that's not, I don't get it. Like, how to put it? You know what I mean?
Yes. I'd say almost like a reading the room, to put it short.
It's reading the room. The more you can have like directions to take your jokes based on how a room reacts to what you're doing, the more you can show you're in the moment and that you're reacting to the crowd as much as they're reacting to you.
I felt like that the last time that I was like I view my mind like a CD changer almost, which I'm aging the shit out of myself when I say CD changer. But like, depending on like what people will really laugh at. And then I'm like, I love that. And then I have, do you like Dimitri Martin? I love Dimitri Martin.
He's so funny.
He's one of my favorites since I was like a kid.
Yeah, no,
and
he's been doing it a while.
Right, and one of my favorites. That inner monologue, I feel like, is so fucking important. And then, like, I'll get really excited because I have, like, this memorized list of, okay, I would love to talk about these things when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
But if something responds better, I'm going to be like, let's reorganize that a little bit.
Yeah, right.
And just because I know that's going to do so much better and that people have a better time if we talk about this.
Totally.
And you're just totally right with that. Like, you can't really foresee that. And like sometimes there's comics who are like just totally like an act. Like the last New Year's, I went and
it's
saw
jarring though.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes it works, but like when it doesn't, dude, there's nothing stranger than watching a comic acting like they're doing well while they're bombing and like nothing changes. And you're like, no, like
You feel like you're not there.
I don't
anymore.
think like people, I don't like the word save. When people are like, you wrote a save for that joke. It's like, no, I acknowledged what happened after it bombed. Just because that got a pop because I was in the moment.
I like that you're like very, it's kind of good for like dealing with your own anxiety too. You're just like, dude, I'm just acknowledging what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Like, and it removes all that dumb shit of, oh, well, you fucking planned that shit. Be like, no, I didn't.
Right.
I'm just, again, in that moment and stream of consciousness. And it'll always be like the best. I think, like, give an authentic reaction.
Yeah.
And if it's funny, it's funny.
Right.
And if not,
yeah.
be like, well, sorry.
It's better. Like, I think that's a better way to do comedy than just like trying to like stand by your jokes and be like, no, I'm not going to like admit that bombed. I'm just going to move on. It's that feels weird to me.
I'd say so. It's really like egotistical as fuck, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, and then there's no wrong or right way to do comedy, but that's just like what it feels jarring to me when I watch somebody do comedy. Do you use notes on stage?
Only sometimes.
Only sometimes. Okay.
Like, it depends. It depends. Like, I have like a few sets in my head that I have just like memorized, but I don't like them.
Sure.
Like, I've been doing comedy for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And coming on 6, I think.
Yeah.
I don't want to do some stuff, but like,
you've been doing it 5, coming on 6. We've been doing almost the exact same amount of time.
Yes.
Comedy siblings.
I love it. Yeah, I started when I was like, 20, the later end of 26. Because I had gotten divorced and like finally found like the space in my life to do stand up besides open mics and shit. And then it was just open mics for a bit. So whatever.
For so long, dude. But people don't know, dude. Especially people here.
Yeah.
Because there's so many club shows to get on. It
Well,
doesn't
I
take
didn't
any
know
time.
that life,
No. Yeah, but like
all.
my first year of doing comedy in Eugene, I wasn't booked on a single thing. I did a year of only dog shit open mics.
Yeah, no, literally same. Like and this is where me starting comedy and I talked to other people and why they started. Mine was kind of like for friends. I was kind of just doing it, for the community of it all. That's why I'm so tight with everybody out in Bremerton. I will always root for those motherfuckers. And
I know.
It's such a solid group of people.
It's so funny. I don't know if you feel this way. It's like I feel such a like a fondness for my home scene in Eugene where I started.
Legitimate kinship.
But they never viewed me that way ever, dude. They always viewed me as horrible, dude. I had to leave because, like, no matter how good I got, I was gonna get treated like I was really bad. Because, like, they had seen me so bad. You know what I mean? Okay. For 2.5 years, I was bad at comedy.
But still.
But then, like, once I got better, like, they just remembered the 2.5 years. They're like,
oh, they were just bitter.
They had 1 month of memories of me being good and 2.5 years of memories of me being bad. They're like, he's bad at comedy.
You should have just moved to Bremerton.
But like now,
we would have been so nice to you.
But now, when I go back, it's like, hey man, come be on this show, come be on that show.
Okay.
Because like,
that's cool.
Yeah, because now I'm like the guy that like left. It's very interesting how that all works.
Do you feel like you've gotten a lot better at comedy too?
Of course, yeah. But like, that's always gonna happen for me because I'm very consistent. I go out 4 or 5 nights a week at minimum, sometimes more if it's convenient.
Yeah.
That's only if that's basically means like if I get booked on shows on the weekends.
No, literally. I'm trying to get more work going.
Yeah, me too.
Sure.
You guys, dude, here it's so interesting. Like, there's just so many comics that you kind of have to reach out for shows.
For sure.
You're just going to get lost in the shuffle if you wait for them. And
100.
you'll get some stuff. People that'll like you will pop up with stuff for you. But, like, to get, especially, like, the club shows, you got to just be in the mix, putting your name out there.
Yeah. No, I fall into, like, so I do a lot of acting, too. And so I'm trying to more so go on that kind of route, especially when it comes to, like, club work.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just kind of have to keep on forging forward with, like, you know, being one of those comedic actresses types, you know, to where, like, say you finally break through on something and then they'll give you more, like, club work and stuff. But I'm like, until then, I'll just take what I can get. You know,
right.
Keep on doing the grind.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to me. I love doing even horrible open mics, so.
Me too.
You know, like, I don't know. I guess I know I really love, you know what I know is that I'll hate myself more if I stay home than if I go out most of the time.
Dude, I'm really excited to see, like, what the Phoenix scene is going to turn into over this year. I know there's been so many exciting developments. I mean,
what are you excited for?
Well, Roast Battle League.
Oh, sure. Shout out to AV.
Absolutely.
AV is cool as hell.
Amazing shit going on there. I feel like there's a lot more bookers at clubs that are, you know, bringing different attitudes.
Mic Drop seems to definitely be trying to push for some, like, more local stuff. They're trying to seem they seem like they're more willing to support the local scene recently.
Yeah, literally.
Which is cool.
It's kind of what's needed, you know? Like,
I know. I've been bitching about it on this podcast for months, Drew. For months, dude.
I'm here.
And at open mics and everywhere else, too, dude. Well, like, everybody, like, Phoenix, like, straight up is kind of notorious for the clubs not really supporting the local scene that much.
And that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
but it's like, with that, the only way to change that, I feel, without sounding like a stupid optimist, has to be from people here getting legitimately good enough to just be hosting.
That's a good point.
And working as a booker in the club so we can kind of change it from the inside.
That's another good point. It's pretty rare that I think, like, a comic who thinks they should be in the clubs, that I agree with them.
Fuck, that's too real.
Yeah. But, like, probably people think that about me, so whatever. You know.
I think, and
you know what's funny?
It comes back to the community, right?
I like people, like, there's been times before when, like, somebody's, like, heard somebody talking shit about me, and they tell me, and that makes me like the person that was talking shit more. There's something wrong with me, Drew. I'm like, yeah, they're right. I suck. I'm garbage.
No, it just makes you feel seen. That's how fucked up you are. Just like, oh.
Kind of that, too. Like, it's like, yeah, if somebody, like, if you, like, bother someone enough, they're talking about you. Like, that's got to be a good sign.
They were talking about me? What'd they say?
I was listening. Have you ever listened to Come Town?
Yes.
Dude, I fucking love Come Down.
Shit.
I love it so much. Nick Mullen was talking about how when he's walking around New York and he sees, like, people with a baby, he gets an urge to go up and just, like, slap the baby. And he's like, and I don't even want to hurt a child. I just want people to be mad at me.
That's what's wrong with you, bro. You're just like, when people are mad at you.
Yeah.
Like, I do.
Yeah, there's something wrong with me where that makes me relate to a person more than if they like me. The people that are like, hey, you're great. I'm like, thanks, dude. Just settle down. Like, the people that are like, I hate you and you bother me. I'm like, you're right.
Like, you're just like, real recognizes real. You know? Like, fuck yeah, can you tell me that again? I love it when people tell me I'm a piece of shit.
God, dude.
That's what I'm used to. That's what's because of how you're forged. Like, you just talked about it before. This is not going to turn into a psychology podcast. It's where you brought up, like, like the first, like, 2 years or whatever, or, like, where you came from in stand-up. You're just like, I only value when people think I'm shitty. Okay? Can you just, like, do that for me? Also approve of me, but be like, damn, that guy was, like, really shitty. I loved him.
But also, that's, like, how you get good. You be hard on yourself.
For sure.
Dude, like, there's nothing fucking worse than a comic that's bad and they're, like, have an ego about it.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, no, I'm good. Like,
I need
I'm not going to
names.
name any names. There's like 6 I can think of right now in this scene that are so bad about that.
That's why I got invited on the pod today.
Oh, my God, dude. I'll tell you. God, they're horrible. There's so many comics that basically that don't do anything except try to get club spots. and they perform like 3 times a month, which is a lot to be in clubs. I'm lucky to I'm not in a club 3 times a month.
Well, that's a lot.
Sometimes I am,
especially out here.
but like not every month. You know, like that's a good month for me if I have 3 club spots. That's an amazing month. Right.
Yeah. Especially paid.
And but like they get those, and it's the only time they perform, and you're just like, you're bad, you're horrible, and you're acting like you're good as this like weird posturing.
Yeah.
Where like the comics that are legitimately good, they fucking all act like they suck and want to get better still.
It's just how it is. Know? That's just how it is. And you know what? We all see it.
Yeah.
Well, and those who don't are part of who you're already talking about. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much ego. I think it's a little different. Being like, I've only lived in one other state, right? And then like we're all like the fucking super friends out there, so it's totally different. There were definitely people who had the big ass egos, and I totally thought the same thing with them. Like, man, they had like a crazy amount. Totally. I just don't have the experience of like being there. And I'm like, I know I have so much to learn, especially because of where I've spent a lot of my time was in small towns and doing a lot of like road work, a lot of really important stuff. But when it comes to like the social calculus of being in a city and seeing where you, you know, who you can work well with, who doesn't fuck with you, who you don't fuck with, and, you know, making sure that you can kind of carve out a place for yourself.
Yeah, it's a weird, like, social hierarchy, and you gotta, like...
But it's different. It's a little different, I would say. What I'm used to in the past is, you know, who are you friends with, or it was very much like other people can vouch for you. I don't see a lot of that here.
No, there's not a lot of it, but it's still important.
Very much
but
so.
It's so...
If you can have it.
It's more, like, condensed. Like... I also had that moment. It's like, because the scene in Eugene's kind of small. Everybody will help everybody with everything.
Totally.
Here, it's like, if you have an opportunity that you can give somebody, there's too many people. You can't give it to everybody. So, like, it becomes, you're going to hook up usually just the person you like the most. You know, that's who you're going to help out.
That makes sense.
Most of the time.
It
does. That's like the key.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a new comedian and you're listening to this podcast, like I hope you are, and you want some advice, just be likable. That's like the most important part of doing comedy. Just
I've been called
don't
like
be a dickhead
in the past, though. You know, like
I mean, I'm sure people hate me. I know they do.
Yeah.
I know there's people that would be. Mainly people in Oregon, not here. People like me here. They're like, Eric's wild. In Oregon, they're like, Eric's wild. But yeah, mainly people in Oregon who would be so happy if I quit comedy. They would just be like, oh my God. Thank God I never have to listen to another Eric Sparks set. And you know what? I probably feel the same way about those people. So,
sorry.
Nothing matters. Just try to be likable. Don't be a dick to anybody, even people you don't like.
Oh no, for real. I mean,
that's the secret to doing comedy. That's how you like.
People have
and then go bomb a lot. Go bomb a lot. Go bomb until you've bombed so much that you can't care if you bomb anymore, and then you'll just be yourself on stage, and you'll be good at comedy.
I think it is important to kind of set boundaries with people. Like, say they rub you the wrong way, or say they like, you know.
But like always, the beautiful part of comedy is there's now a context for we can like tell people all those things.
Sure.
And trying to be funny.
For sure.
And like you can find some creative way to tell Fred Rigg he's annoying.
I feel like I just met him like recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I love Fred. Shout out to Fred.
That, like a lot of people don't know.
Shout out to all the comics who are trying to rush comedy. That whole little crew. You know who you are.
They don't know me like that. I feel like they all came to the open mic the other day.
Everybody fucking sees Aldo go from doing like from here to New York in 3 years and thinks they can do it too. You're not Aldo.
Well, yeah, they're not.
Nobody else is Aldo. Only Aldo's Aldo.
I don't even know Aldo. I saw
really?
him.
Oh, that sucks. Aldo's cool as hell too.
I've heard.
I mean, I wish he didn't exist and all his opportunities were mine, but he's cool too.
I guess like there's a part of me that like I guess I can understand the envy, but like I don't know.
Oh, I mean, if you knew him more, you'd get it. It's just like
For sure.
things don't happen that fast for anybody ever, and then it's just like wild that it did.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I definitely see. I saw him perform at the House of Comedy like before I moved here. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's funny.
Yeah.
And then saw him. They're like, people do know him, and I'm like, oh, he's in New York. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But and then I also saw Joey Campagna. I think was on stage.
Joey. No, Joey.
It was no. It was somebody.
Capuana.
It was somebody else. I don't. This is before I even fucking moved here.
I haven't seen Joey in a while. Shout out to Joey, dude. I hope he's doing good.
Shout out to Joey.
He seemed like he was struggling with drugs or whatever.
Really?
I don't know. Hopefully not.
That's sad. Never struggle with drugs. Drugs are supposed to be awesome.
Drugs are supposed to struggle with you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, fucking shout out to drugs, honestly.
Plug your open mic.
Oh yeah. Every Monday, come out to Basilic Vietnamese Kitchen. It's off of McDowell and Central in downtown Phoenix. Sign-ups start at 6:30. The show itself starts at 7, and I mean that shit. It starts at 7. If you want to be on the list and you know you're gonna be late, text my ass. All right, every Monday, 6:30. Basilic Vietnamese Kitchen, Phoenix, Arizona.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Drew for doing stuff downtown. Dude, there needs to be way more shit downtown for real. Because, like, it's so central and, like, it's 20 minutes from everybody instead of fucking 45 minutes for half the people.
We're going to be doing a monthly showcase, too. So, yeah.
Cool,
just waiting on confirmation from the fucking owner, dude.
Shout out to Drew. Go follow her on Instagram. Drew Lopez is a joke. Did I get that? Wow,
you did.
cool.
Thanks.
Wow.
That's really sweet.
I had that off top. Bye.
It's been good.